My goodness me, the plants are looking really healthy. I'm gonna just do a bit of ventilation today. I've not been in here for a couple of days because I've been busy. So I'm gonna make sure that for at least a few hours, I open all the vents, open the door, get the airflow going, because otherwise you'll make it a breeding ground for pests and diseases. You need lots of lovely ventilation. Look at those leaves. I need to pop these on soon. I'll see if I get a chance before I go away. If not, I'll do it when I get back. But yeah, otherwise, they're just looking so fit and healthy, aren't they? So ventilation will help keep them that way. I'll also check for watering. I'm not actually watering that much at the moment. I'm finding the evaporation is quite slow. So especially the ones that are only just coming up, they will need less water. Just remember that. They will need less water than those that have got more foliage, just because they've got the foliage which gets rid of the water through transpiration. Snapdragons are looking absolutely fantastic. You wouldn't believe that they're still in their 40 cell trays. So this will be a job for me to do in the next month or so. I probably won't get a chance to do it before I go on holiday, but they're perfectly happy at the moment. This is the new strawberries and cream snapdragon that's coming for you in January. It's such a strong grower. Look at that lovely sunshine. So you're going to love growing this. This is its final germination trial, and it's passed with flying colours. Behind, we've got all the madam butterflies looking absolutely fabulous as well. It's going to be a bumper year. And here are the butterfly ranunculus, looking absolutely fantastic. Look at that foliage. So big, it looks like a lily pad, doesn't it? Look at that one. Now, I do have some that I started a bit later, because it depends if your conditions in your greenhouse are not right. If you're not getting enough sunshine, then that will affect the rate that they wake up. So that's got to be correct. And then also it depends on how many weeks you were behind me, because time goes so fast, doesn't it? So what I've done is I've actually started some later, so that we'd have these to compare them to. So these were started at least 4 weeks behind the others. So they are much smaller, but they are coming. And the good thing about the ranunculus is that they're not going to flower for ages anyway, so they've got plenty of time to catch up. And these will then bloom a tiny bit later than these ones. So it's quite a good idea to have a little staggered sowing, which is exactly what we're doing in late winter. So look, this one here looks like it's not doing anything. It's not been in the soil that long, but look, can you see those green shoots? So it is coming. You just got to make sure that the conditions in your greenhouse are right, because they're not silly. If the conditions aren't right, they won't wake up. This is my Orlea grandiflora, and it looks like just about everybody has germinated. So I'm just giving the tray a top dressing of some compost. I'll shake the excess off, but that's looking a lot smarter now. Don't cover them until they've germinated though, because they need light for germination. But that's looking much better. And I'm also putting my trays on a shelf, because you need airflow not only from above but from underneath, because the cells in the trays have got holes in them. So if you sit them on a solid surface, then you are restricting the amount of air that can get to the root zone area. So if your greenhouse is really small and you're very restricted on your space, then rotate your trays from time to time, so some of them are not sitting constantly on the floor. Lift them up on the shelf. That really helps with drainage, because the holes are uncovered, so that lets the water escape, but it also lets the air in. So if you haven't got enough shelf space for all of your seedlings, just move them around from time to time so they all get a chance to get some adequate ventilation, not just from above, but also from below. There we go, that is looking much better. So I've had to shift around, put some plants on the top shelf, top dress them with their compost. Now I'm very relaxed with my potting on, because I know that although we've had really strong growth up until now, the light has now gone, so we're heading into winter. So these plants are not going to grow, they're just going to tick over. So there's no point in starting seeds. You can fake the conditions and get them to germinate in the warmth of the house, but there's not enough light now to make them grow like this. We will start again in late winter. They're literally just going to tick over. So although the trays look like they need potting on, it looks like it's an urgent job, I'm not expecting really any more growth now until the light comes back. So they're absolutely fine. Just make sure that you don't overwater or underwater your cells. So plants that are quite big, keep an eye on the watering because they can dry out. But at the same time, keep an eye on them because the transpiration's just not there anymore. So the trays will dry out a lot more slowly than they were doing before now. So I am very relaxed about my potting on because although these plants here look really big, that is because we did an autumn jump start. So the light levels were really good. It was really warm and humid in the greenhouse. But as we head into winter, like we are now, these plants are literally gonna stay near enough stationary until the light returns in late winter. My potting on does look like an urgent job. I'm not expecting very much growth now until the light levels return. We're not going to get the same growth during winter that we had in autumn. It's just not going to happen. So whatever size your plants are now, don't expect very much from them until February. They're just going to literally be ticking over. And if you've got time to pot them on, then especially when it's a lovely day in the greenhouse, it's a wonderful job to do. But don't expect them to double in size in the next couple of weeks because it's just not going to happen.